Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Boys and girls, my name is Jasmine Kaur, and I am here with Inni Kaur Auntie, who is going to be your presenter today. She's going to tell you about who Bebe Nanki's brother is. Do you know who Bebe Nanki's brother is? Well, you're going to find out soon. But before that, I'd like to take just a little time to tell you a little bit about Sikh Research Institute. Sikh Research Institute is an organization that helps both Sikhs and non-Sikhs learn more about SikhRI. We have a lot of special programs for children, like workshops, and this webinar is especially for children. You're going to listen to a story today. And let me tell you a little bit about Inni Auntie. Inni Auntie is the Vice President of Spectrum Communications. And just recently, she wrote this book called Journey with the Gurus, which is a wonderful book. And she's going to read a story from this book today, the very first story in the book. So are you ready? Are you ready to find out who Bebe Nanki's brother is? I hope so, because I'm going to pass it on to Inni Auntie.
It was a dreary day in Talwandi. The air was heavy and nature looked weary. The villagers slogged, the animals plowed. Then something incredible took place. A fragrant breeze blew into Talwandi. Birds sang, flowers danced, animals chuckled, villagers halted. What happened? A child full of smiles, a child with wise eyes, a child that sang the eternal songs was born in Talwandi. Chapter 1. How it all began. Raibodi Talwandi was a beautiful little village in Punjab bordered by a dense forest. This forest was home to many animals. In the evenings, the people would see flocks of birds flying back to their nests in the tall trees. Sometimes, even a herd of deer would wander into the village, causing lots of excitement. In this peaceful place, a baby named Nanak was born in 1469. His father's name was Mehta Kalyan Chand, but everyone called him Mehta Kalu. His mother's name was Tripta Devi. She was a kind and sweet person. Everyone loved and admired her and respectfully called her Mata Tripta Ji. Both of Nanak's parents were overjoyed when he was born. Baby Nanak also had an older sister named Nanaki, who was the happiest of all. Nanaki was 5 years old when her little brother was born. She fell in love with him the moment she first saw him. Mataji, look, his face is glowing. God has sent me a very special brother. Mataji took her in her arms, kissed her, and replied, he is so lucky to have you as his big sister. Pita Kaluji was the business manager and Patwari to Rai Bulla, the Muslim chief who ruled Talwandi, and a lot of the neighboring villages. Rai Bulla was a very rich man and owned many, many large fields. To be Rai Bulla's accountant was an important job. Pita Kaluji was also the head of all the other Patwaris in the area. He would often travel to neighboring villages for meetings. Everywhere he went, people respected him. News of Nanak's birth spread quickly through Talwandi. When Birla Ram, Pitaji's neighbor, heard the good news, he came right over. Congratulations, congratulations, Kaluji. What wonderful news. Where is the mithai? I want to eat barfis and laddus with you, he said joyfully. Pitaji laughed and hugged his friend. We'll eat mithai later. Please go quickly and get Pandit Hardyal for me. Tell him that I have a newborn son and I want his horoscope made right away. Birla Ram loved Pitaji very much. He rushed off to get the priest. Panditji, please come quickly. Mata Triptaji has given birth to a baby boy. Kaluji wants you to come immediately to make his horoscope. A son in Mehta Kalu's house. This is very good news. Of course I will come. After all, I am their Pandit, and I should be there. Let me collect my scrolls, and then we'll go, said Pandit Hardyal, rushing around. Pandits were in charge of performing all the religious ceremonies in Hindu homes. Only men belonging to the Brahmin caste were allowed to become Pandits. When a baby was born in a Hindu home, the Pandit would be called to have the child's horoscope made. This was a very important event. Many, many congratulations, said Pandit Hardyal as he entered Mehta Kalu's house. Your son is born on a very lucky day. I know you are excited to have his horoscope made. I have brought my astrological scrolls with me. Once I take a look at them, I will be able to tell you his future. Pandit Hardyal took out the tightly rolled scroll from his shoulder bag. He carefully spread it out and looked at it very closely. There were shapes of triangles and circles and a few words written on the scroll. Only Pandits knew how to read them. Yes, I knew it. Mehta Kalu, your son will grow up to be a very great man. He will be loved and respected by both the Hindus and the Muslims, said Pandit Hardyal. Hearing this, Pitaji beamed with pride and asked, Panditji, will he be rich and powerful? Panditji looked at the scroll again and said, Trust me, Mehta Kalu, your son will have plenty of everything. The world will follow him. You are a very, very lucky man. Your son will bring you great glory. Pitaji was smiling from ear to ear as he thought about what Panditji had just said. Meanwhile, the house was quickly getting filled with people. Everyone was coming to congratulate Mata Triptaji and Pita Kaluji. Trays heaped with orange laddus and jalebis, as well as beautifully decorated white burfis, were being served to all the guests. Baby Nanak spent his early years surrounded by the warm love of his family. The sounds of his laughter filled their home. Mataji and Pitaji doted on him. Nanaki was also happy to have her mother look after her baby brother. She would often sing him to sleep while cradling him tenderly in her arms. She enjoyed taking him out for walks in the forest and taught him the names of all the birds and animals that lived there. She even taught him to recognize the different sounds of the birds. When Nanak grew a little older, they started to play hide and seek. They were each other's best friends. He was the most perfect brother that any sister could ever wish for. But young Nanak was not like the other children. He rarely played with them. He preferred to be alone or with Nanaki. He would spend a lot of time looking at the trees, the birds, and the clouds. Whenever he saw sadhus and fakirs walking through the village, he would stop and talk to them. He would ask them questions about God. Why have you left home? Have you found God? Where are you going after you leave here? He loved talking with them. Mataji, why is Nanak always talking with the sadhus and fakirs? He should be playing and spending time with children of his own age, said Pitaji, frowning. Gently, Mataji explained, Dearest, Nanak is not like the other children. Do you know what our neighbors told me the other day? They said that they had seen Nanak sleeping on the grass, and that a cobra was shading him with its hood from the hot sun. "Nonsense," said Pitaji angrily. "You believe anything that you are told. Don't listen to these people. They don't know what they are talking about." But Mataji continued, "Dearest, please listen. Your boss, Rai Buller, told me the same thing. He saw this too. He also said that many people from the village had begun asking Nanak for advice. They seem to trust him and believe that God has sent him. But I am concerned about our son. He's always giving away his things to people who have less than him. I know what he is doing is good, but I still worry about him. He has a very kind and tender heart." Pitaji was annoyed hearing all this talk about Nanak. "He spends too much time wandering around and daydreaming. We should enroll him in the village school. That will keep him busy," he said. So young Nanak went to study with Pandit Gopal Das, who was in charge of the village school. The Pandit was a great scholar of the Sanskrit language. Nanak was a fast learner. The Pandit was very surprised to see how quickly he understood everything. After some time, Pandit Gopal Das told Pita Kaluji, "I have taught your son all that I know. In all my years of teaching, I have never met another child like him. He is exceptional and has a remarkable talent for poetry." Pitaji was not happy hearing that, but he did not say anything to Pandit Gopal Das. He just thanked him and went away muttering to himself, "Poetry? What is poetry? How is he going to support himself and his family when he grows up? Poetry is not going to make him any money." Pitaji loved Nanak very much and wanted only the best for him. He wanted to make sure his son was able to get a good job when he grew up. He was sure that Rai Buller would hire Nanak if the boy knew Persian, which was the official language of the government. Thinking about that made him happy, so he decided to send Nanak to study at the Persian school. The head of the Persian school was a Muslim priest named Qutb-ud-Din. Young Nanak enjoyed studying with him. The Maulvi was very impressed with how much Nanak already knew. He quickly recognized that Nanak was a very unusual child and told his father, "Kaluji, you have a very intelligent son. I believe he will change this world one day. I have taught him whatever I know, but I have not been able to answer his questions. They are unusual for a child of his age. He wants to know, how does one live in this world while always loving and remembering God?" "More questions? When will his questions ever stop?" Pitaji said, shaking his head with frustration. He was not happy with what the Maulvi had told him. Walking back home, Pitaji was in deep thought. How can I make Nanak more responsible? What will make him stop asking all these questions? What can I do? He wondered. He thought and he thought. All of a sudden, he had an idea. Nanak should do some physical work. Yes, fresh air and hard work will keep him busy. What a brilliant idea! Why didn't I think of it before? On reaching home, Pitaji quickly called Nanak and said, "From tomorrow morning onwards, your job is to take the buffaloes out to graze every day. Make sure you take them to our fields and watch over them with great care." "Yes, Pitaji," said Nanak very happily. "The boy should do some physical work. It will make him strong," Pitaji told Mataji. The next day, bright and early, Nanak took the buffaloes to graze. He hopped and skipped with joy as he led them along the dusty paths, stopping to watch the rabbits and squirrels along the way. He loved being in the fields and in the middle of nature and never missed a day at his task. Pitaji was very happy to see that Nanak was becoming more responsible. Mataji, wasn't it a good idea to have Nanak look after the buffaloes? He hasn't missed a day. Even his daydreaming seems to have stopped. Mataji smiled and replied, I'm glad that you are happy, but please remember, Nanak is not like the other children. Weeks passed, and young Nanak continued to take the buffaloes out to graze every day. One morning, while the buffaloes were grazing, Nanak sat down to rest. He started watching the clouds as they moved slowly across the sky and forgot all about his job. The buffaloes wandered into the fields of Ram Bhagat, Mehta Kalu's neighbor. When Ram Bhagat saw Mehta Kalu's buffaloes munching his crops, he became furious. His face turned red with anger. He started to shout at Nanak. He grabbed hold of the boy's hand and dragged him into the village to complain to his father. Mehta Kalu, all my crops have been eaten. I have lost so much money because of your son. This is all your fault. I demand justice. I'm going to Rai Buller now. He will make you give me money. He screamed and screamed at Pitaji. Rai Buller was checking the accounting ledgers in the next room and heard everything. Ram Bhagat rushed into the room and in a loud voice shouted, Sir, you have to do something. All my crops have been eaten. You must punish Nanak. Make Mehta Kalu give me money for the destroyed crops. Rai Buller was a very wise headman. He knew that Ram Bhagat had a bad temper and also had a habit of exaggerating. Rai Buller loved young Nanak very much and wanted to hear his side of the story. Gently, he asked the boy, Is it true what this man is saying? Are the crops in his fields all destroyed? Nanak replied calmly, Sir, I'm really sorry that my buffaloes went into Ram Bhagat's fields, but I don't think the crops have been damaged. Please go and see for yourself. So everyone went off to see the fields. And young Nanak was right. The crops were still standing there, exactly as before. Nothing had happened to them. Ram Bhagat could not believe his eyes. He was shocked to see the crops had not been eaten. He glared at Nanak. Rai Buller looked at the fields thoughtfully without saying a word. Pitaji gently took hold of Nanak's hand. Father and son walked home together in silence. End of chapter 1.
Boys and girls, now you know who Baby Nanaki's brother was. That's right, Nanak, Baby Nanak, who we know as Guru Nanak Sahib, right? Well, don't you think that this relationship between Baby Nanaki and Nanak was so wonderful? It was so sweet that they would go out together and get to know the animals together and really enjoy nature. I'm sure you have a brother or a sister who you enjoy doing that with too, or even maybe a very close friend. Just like Bibi Nanki said that Nanak was the best brother anyone could ever have. I'm sure you have someone like that too. Well, next time you hang out with your sister or brother, or you hang out with your friend, think about all the nice things that you can do with them, even though sometimes I'm sure you fight a little. But go enjoy with them. And do you remember when Nanak's father asked Panditji for the horoscope? Well, Do you know what astrology is? Astrology is when people think that if the stars and the sun and the planets, they align a certain way, that maybe there's something extremely special about it. And they think that because of the way they're aligned together, that certain things happen. And so some people, for example, they might think that, oh, Wednesday is not a good day to wash your hair because maybe something's not right up in the sky. Or maybe Saturday isn't a good day to wash your clothes because something's wrong with the sun and the way the stars are. Or maybe there's a full moon and that's going to make a lot of people angry on a particular day. Well, we have to think of it about what Guru Sahib says. And Guru Sahib says that any moment, any time, any place that you remember Vaheguru, that's a very, very, very special time. So it doesn't really matter how the sun or the stars or the planets are aligned, but what really matters is how you can remember Vaheguru at any time and any moment. I hope you enjoyed the story, and now that we know who Bebe Nanaki's brother is, I'm sure you would love to hear more stories in the future. And if you do, a wonderful way to do it is to do it through the webinar that you just did right now. Well, you know what? We need your help. We need the help of your parents to maybe sponsor a webinar. That means that they can help us put up a webinar by helping us with some money to support the payment for it. And you know what? What might be really cool? Well, we would be able to kind of have that special webinar in honor of your family. We can tell everyone that your family sponsored it or it was sponsored because of you. So I hope that you and your family will go visit www.SikhRI.org. And that's where you can learn more about it. And I'm sure you want to learn more about Journey with the Gurus, the book that Ini Auntie wrote. And you can also go visit her website at journeywiththegurus.com. And we hope to see you again back with us for the special kids webinar. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.